Ladies and gentlemen, federal employees, today we're talking about FEHB, so federal health insurance and Tricare. Should you keep both of them? Which one is better? What's going to serve you better over your career and in retirement when you're thinking about Medicare as well? We're going to dive into these things. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. So good to have you. My name is Dallin Haas. I'm a financial planner who serves federal employees just like you every day, and I absolutely love it. Now, if you have Tricare, this video is for you. If you don't have Tricare and you're not going to have Tricare, this is not for you, okay? This is just for those with Tricare, which stereotypically is just, of course, military retirees, which now have come over as a civilian and now have access to FEHB. So here is the deal. While you're working, this is how I'd summarize it. Tricare almost all the time is going to be the cheaper option. It is very, very cost effective. It normally just costs a little bit, if anything at all. And compared to, let's say, FEHB, okay? FEHB, of course, is the federal, the civilian health insurance. The premiums are generally going to be hundreds of dollars a month, while Tricare is not normally even close to that. So when it comes to cost, Tricare is by far the cheaper option. Now, the one complaint I sometimes get about Tricare, now not everyone has this complaint, but the one I do hear is that not all providers accept Tricare. So I see some federal or some military retirees that are now civilian federal employees get an FEHB on top of their Tricare to have access to other providers that accept their FEHB plan, but maybe not their Tricare. Now, again, some people love their Tricare and they're very happy with the providers that accept it, and they're good. And if that's you, perfect. There's no need for FEHB unless you aren't happy with your current situation. Now, one thing I will say, this is a fantastic strategy that if you have Tricare, and let's say you don't even have FEHB right now, what are the options to give you the best options in retirement? So, for example, this is what I would recommend. What you're able to do, let's say you have Tricare right now, okay? You have Tricare. And let's say you're retiring this next year. For you, there's a rule for you to keep FEHB in retirement. You got to be covered under FEHB for the 5 years before retirement. Now, if you've had Tricare and you have not had FEHB, there's an exception to this 5-year rule, where as long as you had Tricare for the 5 years before retirement, you can keep FEHB into retirement as long as you jump on FEHB, as long as you're covered under FEHB when you're retired. So, for example, the last open season before you retire, if you jump on FEHB, even the cheapest FEHB plan possible, okay? So that you've had Tricare for the 5 years before, but the last open season you jump on FEHB, okay, so you're going into retirement with FEHB, you are eligible to do a couple things. First, you can just keep FEHB into retirement if you want, but you can also suspend FEHB, okay? Suspend it. So what that means is you retire, you have FEHB, then you suspend it, which means you stop paying the premiums. You're not covered under FEHB anymore. But suspending in this context means that you can actually get back into FEHB later if you ever wanted to. Now, you want to be very careful. There's different forms you fill out to do this, and you don't want to cancel it, okay? You don't want to cancel FEHB. You just want to suspend FEHB, which again, basically what this does is you have Tricare, you're happy with Tricare, but if you jump on FEHB before you retire, it puts FEHB in your back pocket. You're not paying the premiums. You suspended it once you're retired, but it puts it in your back pocket. So just in case, for the rest of your life, if you ever wanted the option, let's say Tricare changes its rules, or they change how they cover stuff, or the providers you like don't accept it anymore, whatever, it gives you the option of FEHB later. Again, the civilian health insurance, which is fantastic to have. You never have to use it, but if you ever did, you have that option. So that's one fantastic strategy that, again, people with Tricare can use. Now, if you don't have Tricare, you do not, generally speaking, have the option to suspend FEHB. That only applies to those who have Tricare, at least in this context, okay? Normally in retirement, if you don't have Tricare, you can't just suspend FEHB. That's not an option. You normally can cancel it, and if you cancel it, you can't come back. So be very, very careful with that. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that Tricare requires that once you're 65, you get on Medicare A and B. Okay, Medicare A and B. So, generally speaking, once people have Tricare and they're 65 plus, it's very rare that they have FEHB as well. Okay, simply because Tricare requires Medicare A and B, and to have Medicare A, B, Tricare, and FEHB for most people is just overkill. They don't need that much coverage. Tricare and Medicare A and B for most people is fantastic coverage. Okay, again, I can't speak for everyone, but for the vast majority of everyone I've seen, it's fantastic coverage to have Tricare, Medicare A, and B. So keep that in mind. So those are the things to think about if you have Tricare and you're thinking about FEHB and Medicare. I hope that is helpful. And if you've had a different experience with Tricare, please share it in the comments below. It helps us all learn and get better together. And I'll see you guys in the next video.